All right, guys, so just like when we were talking about logic statements, how they have both basic decision-making structures and advanced decision-making structures, when we were looking at loops, we have two different types of loops. We have uncontrolled loops and controlled loops. With an uncontrolled loop, there is no clear way for the code to close or to exit the loop or to finish and complete the loop. With a controlled loop, the code is going to control when the loop is completed. So when we're looking at an uncontrolled loop, particularly with repeats, we're going to be doing a repeat forever. Now, since a repeat forever is going to be a block of code, when we have any sort of block of code, we want to tab over in the second line so that we can clearly see where the code or where the block has started and where the block is ending. Basic code that we can put inside this repeat loop just to demonstrate what it does. We're going to say repeat x equals x plus 1. This is going to every single time through the loop add 1 to the value of x, and then I want to print the value of x. Now if I run this guy, you'll see that it is going to keep very quickly going through adding 1 to our value and printing that out. This is an example, like I said, of an uncontrolled loop. This type of loop is going to continue to run until we either manually close the program, we kill the power to the computer, or it gets to a number which is so big that adding 1 to it creates too much of a memory issue and we end up having to crash. So those three things are things that we really don't want to have happen in our programs. One of the ways that we can produce control within our loop is including an until statement. With that until statement, I can create a condition for where I want my loop to stop. So repeat until x is greater than or equal to 1,000. Put a wait key on the end of this and an n, and when I run this program, once my program or my loop has gotten to 1,000, it exits the loop. We go to our wait key and press any key, it ends the program. That is an example of a controlled loop. We can also introduce stuff such as key hits. When we're talking about key hits, we need to be able to go and look at the scan codes for finding particular keys for our loops, for our computer to be looking for presses on. So we do that by going to the help menu or the home button here, clicking on the command reference and looking at scan codes. So quickly I can see that the escape key is going to be known as 1. So if I want to run my program until the escape key is hit, I'm going to say until key hit 1. I run my program, and now anytime that I hit the escape key, my computer program ends. Similarly, I could use a mouse hit on this, and if I was to click with the left mouse button, it has exited the loop, and now I am waiting for a key to press to end the program. So those would be different ways with which we can control when a repeat loop is finished. Okay? When we are looking at printing stuff to the screen, one of the things that repeats can be used for that are really helpful is we can print information, not just simply x equals x plus 1, but tell us like the coordinates of the mouse on the screen. So I'm going to text at 100, 100 mouse x. And I'm going to use the mouse X command. Notice that it has both open and close parentheses right after it to tell me where the mouse is located on the screen. Again, open and close parentheses with mouse Y. And just to make this a little bit easier to see, we're going to say new font equals load font, Comic Sans MS, and 48, set font to new font. Okay, so now when I run this, we see that I have zeros. The coordinates that are going to be displayed are going to be in relation to where they're at in the graphics window that we have. So since my mouse is not in the graphics window, I have zeros. When I bring my mouse in, we quickly see that the text ends up writing on top of itself. So one of the things that I want to do is clear off what the old text was whenever I start my loop. So I'm going to need to start with a clear screen every single time my loop comes through. When I run this, I get another issue. So now I no longer have the stuff writing on top of itself, but I have these flashing numbers, which is not ideal. In order for this to work out, I'm going to need to create what is known as a set buffer, or a back buffer. So I'm going to say set the buffer to the back buffer. Again, open and close parentheses, just like what we would have with mouse X, mouse Y, or our CDRAN millisecs. What this does is it creates basically two different screens. A screen that we can see and a screen that we do all of our work on. When we have all of our work done, so we've cleared off the work screen there, we've texted our location, we now need to be able to see what that has. So in order for that to happen, I need to flip so that the back screen now becomes the front screen. Now the screen that was in the front ends up becoming my new back screen, and so that screen will now be cleared off. We'll text new stuff to that one, and we'll flip it back forward. So that way, I can get a much clearer and cleaner display because I am no longer trying to clear the information, write it to the screen, and display that all at the same time. The only thing I'm trying to display is a completed image, basically. Okay, so that's going to be an example then of how the repeat loop works and how to use the mouse X, mouse Y, and back buffer commands.